Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.
Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Welcome to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. I'm Kelly Mesher-Collins with the Diocese of Des Moines. On today's show, we're visiting with Bishop Joensen's younger brother, Tom. Tom Joensen is a member of St. Luke Parish in Ankeny, and he's going to give us all the dirt on the bishop.
Where's the cutout switch?
Before we get to today's interview, let's find out what's on the bishop's mind.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Kelly. Our secular culture love in the air earlier this week. Valentine's Day. You and Jason, anything or not?
Probably cooked a steak. Usually cook steaks or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, good Carroll County beef there or something.
Something like that. Hy-Vee, as long as it's from Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee, okay. All right. Well, we just alienated all of our Fairway listeners.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, so
my mom shops at Fairway.
No commercial plugs on this show, right?
That's right.
So, good. Well, I was, again, out to Washington, D.C. They had postponed last year's bishop's orientation. So, though I'm 2.5 years in, we finally had the orientation of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishop, main headquarters in Washington, D.C. So, about 25 of us bishops who've been ordained in recent years. And really just kind of seeing how the nuts and bolts of the mission and the various offices, whether it's liturgy and worship, Catholic news service, creative service, public affairs, communications, or others. So, and it's just another chance to bond and meet some of the other bishops, because we can't presume that we all know each other. And so that was really good, and they did a marvelous job hosting us. And now I think you can associate names and faces. Just a little footnote. I have been asked to be the chair of the Committee on Catholic Education's Higher Education Working Group. And so kind of prayed about that, but kind of a responsibility. So they see me as a fresh voice. And obviously much of my ministry up until coming to Des Moines was in education and that. So perspective, that we can share with brother bishops and presidents from around the country. So hopefully a formative piece, but I promise you this will not take away from my day job in Des Moines. So that'll be a good thing as well to have that too. So we're kind of moving into pieces here. Some of the movie stars are active here in a way, doing different things with a Catholic flavor to them. Yeah,
well, Transformer star actor Shia LaBeouf, he does have a little bit of a sordid history, but everybody has an opportunity for redemption. So
we Americans love a comeback.
That's right, we do. Put him on a pedestal, tear him down, pull him back up. But anyway,
at least, unlike the cancel culture, we can let people get back up. We can let them rise again.
Everybody gets a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. Right? That's right. Everybody has an opportunity. And so he has been over in Italy staying with some brothers. He is going to be playing Padre Pio in an upcoming movie. As many of our listeners know, he was an Italian priest, stigmatist, mystic. He was known for his ability to read souls. And so Shia is preparing for that role and filming.
Wow, that kind of beggars the imagination a little bit, but the wonder of Hollywood and what they can do.
And so the pictures, he looks extremely joyful in these photos with the brother priest. It was the priest who posted the photos.
Okay, but Transformer stars. So I'm, generationally, I'm feeling my age here a little bit. So my brother here in the studio already. Let's kick it over to him. Welcome, Tom. We've been talking about this for some time, and it's great to finally have you here. I do so with some trepidation, but that's all right. You said nice things about me to John Leonetti, but now the truth will be told.
Well, as you say that, I thought I was actually going to be on Leonetti's show. I didn't know it was your show.
Too late.
We kind of bummed out.
We had security bring you back in the parking lot. Transformers, were you a Transformer guy? Or
not so much, but my son really liked it when the movies came out, and he's got tons of Transformers at home and everything. But then, as Kelly said, Shia LaBeouf quickly disenfranchised a lot of people after those movie roles. So with his actions and stuff. But you're right.
So your son Michael doesn't, when he is dating somebody, doesn't say, hey, you want to go see my Transformer collection?
Actually, it's he's a freshman at Iowa State, and that actually is a test for him, whether they think all his Legos and his Transformers are cool or not. So it works out. It's a nice little first ground introduction to
weed them out right away,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Man, boy.
Exactly.
Right. Well, we better pause here.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll welcome Bishop Joensen's younger brother, Tom, who is a member of St. Luke Parish in Ankeny. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Spirit Catholic Radio Network.
of the Day with Monsignor Frank Bagnano.
We all know the golden rule, do unto others what you would have them do unto you. Have you ever heard of the silver rule? Do not do to others what you do not want them to do to you. Not a bad rule of behavior. Pretty minimal moral standard. For example, I won't steal from you if you don't steal from me. Good, but negative. The golden rule, historically attributed to Jesus, is positive. I would like you to help me when I'm in need, and I will certainly help you in your time of need. Live by the higher moral standard, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That rule develops friendships and creates a truly positive human community. And that is today's thought of the day.
Welcome back. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. We are back with Bishop Joensen's younger brother, Tom. Tom Joensen is a member of St. Luke Parish in Ankeny. He is here to give us all the dirt on Bishop Joensen.
You can't mention it that.
There is a lot. You think Shia LaBeouf has a lot of dirt?
You think Shia LaBeouf was bad?
That didn't come back in the questionnaires that the nuncio sent on to the Holy Father. He must have really cut me some slack. Yeah, that's the pontifical secret.
So this is just part one, interview part one.
So we've got the span of the Joensen siblings, oldest child, you can tell, and then the youngest, charming one, and everything else. So, Tom, very athletic, basketball and other sports as well. Great 800-meter runner in his day. Tom, is it true that you taught Fred, on our Conscious of Our Spirit Catholic Radio Network, that you taught Fred Hoiberger everything he knows or doesn't know?
Yeah, I mean, boy, he has the highest losing percentage of any Nebraska coach in history right now.
Oh, don't pile on.
Yikes.
There's no Schadenfreude in there.
No, Fred and I grew up together. I was a year older than him, and I have two things that I still hold dear. And once I beat him in one-on-one when I was a ninth grader and he was an eighth grader. And then there was a sophomore game where I was a sophomore and he was a freshman, and I actually outscored him in a game. So against North High School, I have put that up in a frame, that box score.
Which, didn't your friend ask you, did Fred just have an appendectomy?
That's right. Yeah, he did.
That's neither here nor there. I mean,
exactly.
You get a little wistful now as next week you come up on the big half-century mark.
That's right.
Your birthday. Wow, my little brother is going to be at
the big 5-0. So a lot of prayer and consternation going on about that in life. And that's probably why I'm here, Bill, for a little spiritual direction as I get into this next decade.
Yeah, so let's name the emotions. Yeah, I mean, it gives a certain perspective. And now son off to college. You still have Olivia's still in high school and things. Yeah. But, so your own paternal with your family and everything. But a little bit with St. Luke's too. You were kind of you and Jen on the ground floor there with St. Luke's. And
yeah, that's right. When Bishop Pates decided that he wanted to open a new parish in Ankeny, he essentially said anybody that lives in this part of town probably should be parishioners of St. Luke's. And so Jen and I got in on early strategic planning, building committees and everything. And it's been nice to see that parish grow because we have 750 families now. Mm-hmm. And
I know the school is bursting at the seams.
The school is
people lobby me to add sections. And things.
Yeah. So. And it's just nice to sit back now and let other people kind of do everything and just see how this has just grown like Bishop Pates wanted.
Yeah, that vision, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see, someday a Catholic high school. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Our Dowling people probably don't want to hear that as well. So we hope to draw from them there. I've always known you living faith. Like many of the Joensen males, and serving mass and things. But I think there was a time, even as I graduated from Iowa State and went on to school in Iowa City, where I kind of thought you might be the one who would be the priest and not myself. Was that something that you considered?
Yeah. Father Shetta over there in St. Thomas Aquinas was a very good spiritual advisor to a lot of young
men. Now
up
at St. Stephen's in Cedar Falls, yeah.
And he, started a group of people that were discerning this, and I did consider it for a long time. Even though you were already a priest, and people would say to me, well, you already have a priest in the family. At that time, you had been ordained by then, but I considered it, and through nice spiritual direction from Father Shetta, I was in Iowa City in grad school, and he just came to me and visited me. I was like, what's this all about? And he just said, I don't think this is your path, Tom. And it was like a weight off my shoulders at that time. So
that brought the peace.
Yeah,
that liberated that yoke.
Yeah, that brought the peace for me. That it wasn't in my future.
Like, oh, Lord, I guess I should be a priest. Which I think sometimes our young people, do they really believe God wants their happiness, and that, whatever this calling is, even if it's hard, and especially if it's hard, is going to be a source of joy and peace and fulfillment in that way.
Yeah. Excuse me. As many of our listeners know, we do have an uncle that's a priest, and then you. And I just
Monsignor Ralph Simon, he's 60 years a priest in March. Amazing.
Yeah. And, we might get into this a little bit about some of our topics we're talking about, but you could just see a love for Jesus with Father Uncle Ralph, and then we could also see that personal relationship, love for Jesus with you. At that time in my life, I think that, and I don't want this to be all about me, but I think a lot of young people, it's just kind of a distant thing, and had to reflect on that a lot, even recently, that you just could see there was something different about the formation. You were in medical school at the time, and just the happiness, like you say, Christ wants us to be happy, and you are a very happy person. Uncle Ralph,
which is always a testimony of the Holy Spirit, because my serious, inside.
Yeah, and so, and then like my brother David is, he's a single person, and you can see a lot of happiness with him too, and just his solitude as a single person living his vocation in that way too. So,
and 150 young people on the Johnson Blaze swim team that he oversees.
Exactly.
He has grace I do not have. Working with them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then of course Ellen, our sister, as well too. So you mentioned that relationship with Jesus, the joy, but you just can't coast on that, right? And I think that's something you shared with me, that as you hit 50, that's you're kind of looking at that again.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a message for, I think, a lot of people. Who knows? I usually connect that the people that listen to your radio show are probably not the people that are going through something like this. So maybe this is a message for spiritual advisors, spouses, or something like that. But not many people might know is that for the first 30 years of your priesthood, I never went to reconciliation with you. When you became bishop, got a little closer, I decided I didn't want all the other priests in the diocese knowing what I was confessing. So that's
why I go to Omaha. True story.
Yeah, we have extraordinary confessors.
And I know for a fact they don't remember anything anybody says after.
If you say that's what you do, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I know nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And we're always very careful that our reconciliation doesn't get into a spiritual advising in that process itself. But you just get to that point, I think, where you might be going through the motions a little bit when you turn 50, that you just have done this a certain way for so long, and you're not pressing yourself. And I referenced David, but David a few years ago, very successful swim coach. How many 40, I think, state titles?
I've lost track.
Yeah, I lost track, and I just what motivates you when you reach about 50? And he says it gets to the point where just doing a good job. Just waking up every day and just doing a good job at what you do. And through your assistance, and I think a lot of people, Catholic men, are not doing a good job, or have backed away from doing a good job of that personal relationship with Jesus. And you just got to look at that a little bit, I think. And so, again.
And that's what, we try and kindle in the diocese with the men's conference, Iowa Catholic Radio sponsorship, Joe Stopulos and John Leonetti, among others, but you can't just ride the coattails of somebody else.
Exactly. I've enjoyed the fact that you are here in Des Moines now and are the bishop, and sometimes you get a little holiness extended to you through association, not necessarily by what you're doing. And so I think the best thing that people can do is just try to do something that puts you out of your comfort zone. So many people are faithful. So many people go to church every Sunday because it's like, what do I get out of this? Oh, I didn't get anything out of that homily. I mean, sometimes you just got to think about what is your relationship with Jesus doing for Jesus, I think. And so that's sort of the reflections I'm having as I go on this 50 years of life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, you talk about, excellence and the satisfaction of being faithful to a calling and what's there. As a trial attorney with the Fabian firm, you had a singular distinction last fall that being chosen to be a member or inducted into the American College of Trial Lawyers. So Big Brother's proud of his little brother in that, because that's a big deal, and it's a unique honor that's given to you by your peers and who've chosen you as a trial lawyer. Some would say like being chosen a bishop among the trial attorneys.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. You have to be in practice for a certain amount of time, and they do the whole process without you knowing about it, and they're interviewing other opposing counsel.
Sounds like the bishop's nomination.
And they're asking judges how you are and all that. So, it was very exciting, and I'm very honored.
What do you see your niche within the law, and a genuine concern for justice and to do right by people?
Yeah, so I originally started doing medical malpractice defense, so I would defend doctors. But as you say, I am not wedded to plaintiffs or defendants. I'm really one of those people that thinks that we have to have the integrity of the process. And so I started with a plaintiff attorney in Iowa City. Jim Hayes, a great mentor, even helped me with the American College. I found out later he was the one that sponsored me. Someone 17 years later, that it's more of making sure that the process is equal, that everybody has an avenue, and the hardest part is I've moved on to product liability, and I do represent medical device manufacturers, which there is a strong contingency of human beings out there right now that feel like they are not, there's a lot of animosity towards medical device manufacturers right now. And I still...
It was even pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic,
yeah.
Exactly. And so people were like, how could you possibly do that sort of thing? But if you go back, that every person, every entity in this country deserves equal access to the court systems. And so it's a real interest to me. And so I think the biggest thing right now is everybody says the system is failing. I do find that people that say the system is failing is when the result is not what they want it to be. Okay. And so, just because the result of something is not what you want it to be may not be a symptom of the system failing, but that it's actually working in the way it should be working.
Okay. Your comments about the process, there was a little whiff of Matt Campbell in the air that, trust the process.
That's right.
Love the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of, when it's trial time, it's all consuming for you.
It is.
And is it different when you have a judge presiding versus a jury trial or a judge? What do we call that?
That would be a bench trial.
A bench trial.
When the judge does it, but that's fine. And I wouldn't expect anybody to know that off the top of their head that isn't involved in it every day. But, I haven't done any bench trials, so I've only been in front of a jury. So I know how I would try a case that was in front of a judge. I don't think
Would it be different? Would it be different?
Oh, it would be much different. I think, the rules of evidence are very, very distinct and very established, mostly because a jury may not know what they should or should not consider based upon the law that has been established by legislatures and judges over the course of the existence of the United States, where judges kind of know what they should and should not be considering.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So there's a lot more time teaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
or my dad. Yeah. Dad. I guess I can say to you, Dad, because he's your dad too. But it's just, just educating and accepting that this jury is and doctors have a problem with this. Doctors, that it's about an 8th grade education average. I mean, you do have people that are very, very educated, and you have people that are not educated on that jury. And so they say the average is about an 8th grade education.
Well, I'm not trying to be condescending, but I think, clergy do well to remember that also when they're preaching or communicating a message. And I know sometimes I kind of hit the ceiling on some of this, but, I think as long as we're touching different levels and what we're doing there too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, if memory serves, you once crashed Dad's, one of his mechanical engineering classes, you and my sister.
Yeah, I don't know if Ellen joined me.
You were not an engineer. engineering major.
No, that was a fun time. We might have talked about this once before. Maybe I did with John Leonetti when I was on his show many years ago, but just when you were getting ordained.
That's all a blur for me. I don't know.
But I just wanted to see what my dad could do, and he was on his probably near retirement, and so I just popped into a mechanical engineering class at Iowa State. Ellen did not join me for that one, although we used to hang a lot with my dad, Ellen, and I, because we were all on the campus together. But I was struck with his timing more than anything. Like, he knew exactly where he was within his presentation at any moment, and it was all planned out, and it ended much like a radio show. He concluded right at 50 minutes, and he was right where he wanted to be. We did have a fun point where he had one tough question that he prompted me with the answer, and so I was able to answer the question in front of everyone. It's a nice memory now.
Who's this ringer here? This plant? So any tips for me? I'm up for jury duty in Polk County. The latter, actually next week. So next Monday I'm supposed to appear and for jury selection. I don't know if I'll wear a cassock or not, but any comments you would make about that process?
Well, I think a lot of people always ask me, how do I get out of jury duty? And as I'm officially an officer of the court, and I actually believe that everybody should serve jury duty if they are able, because that is what the system is all about. I can pretty much guarantee that you are not going to get seated on a jury. Generally, they do not like clergy.
Is that right?
Because of the nature of whichever way you go, you either lead the death march into the verdict announcement. So we always say don't get a clergy because they can sway
somebody. Anti-clericalism people would react against.
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Okay. We're going to have a rapid fire session when we come back.
All right.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Making It Personal, Bishop Joensen.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio provided by the Sarah Vocations Ministry, including the St. Sarah Club of Des Moines and the Sarah Club of Council Bluffs. Sarah is an apostolate of the Worldwide Catholic Church dedicated to fostering and supporting priesthood and religious vocations. Sarahans strive to accomplish their mission through prayer, fellowship, and service to the bishop, priests, sisters, and all in religious formation, and in doing so to increase their own holiness. Learn more at joinsarah.org, joinserra.org. Thank you, Sarahans, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
St. Thomas Classical Academy is hosting a lecture Saturday, March 12th, starting at 7 p.m. Raising Catholic Men with Daniel Kerr, President and Headmaster of St. Martin's Academy, a Catholic high school for boys that combines classical academics with an integrated work program on a sustainable farm in Fort Scott, Kansas. Raising Catholic Men, Saturday, March 12th at St. Thomas Classical Academy, 4801 Franklin Avenue, Des Moines. Learn more at stthomasclassical.org. That's stthomasclassical.org.
Welcome back to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. We are here with Bishop Joensen's younger brother, Tom. And
you could have said that like my mom says it,
Tom. We know is listening and is our biggest critic in this world.
Well, I'm just...
And your job never is.
There's so many ways to go with the introduction.
And who we love very much.
We thought we'd have a little fun, and Tom actually generated some of these problems. But, maybe if it's not rapid fire, Kelly, would you help us and pose a few, making it personal with the Joensen brothers?
I've got questions here from one of the brothers, which shall remain anonymous, who submitted it. All right. Angriest Tom has ever been at Bill. Bishop Joensen, by the way, for those of you who don't know who Bill is.
Yeah. Well, I would have to go back to 1998.
Wow.
You remember the year.
It really sticks in your craw, doesn't it?
No, Bill was in Rome at that time, and I just graduated I got my graduate degree in speech pathology, which I was a speech pathologist before I was an attorney. And we went, Bill was in Rome studying for his PhD in moral philosophy, and I went to visit for about a month. I was there for 3 weeks or more.
Let me tell you, it was a long month. I was happy when we got that train to go to Vienna. But anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But we were going to go to the Vatican, and we actually did end up celebrating Mass, just the two of us, and then one person randomly joined us in one of the sides.
Yeah, you can't do that now. It has to be an Italian, and they kind of cracked down on it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I did not know that. But I had sprained my ankle.
So you were angry.
I sprained my ankle. I sprained my ankle the day playing basketball right before the trip, and I was not getting off the bus quick enough for Bill, and so he literally pushed me out of the door onto my spring.
I was trying to spare him the wrath of the Italians, on the 64 bus. I mean, they would have done what I did otherwise. So I thought it would be more gentle.
And he landed on his face, planted on the bus.
Very good. All right, moving right along. Time is moving along here. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, angriest Bishop Joensen has been at Tom.
Well, I think I came back. I was Christmas break from professional school, and we were playing a big, massive game of Stratego that went on for hours and hours. And our mischievous, devious brother Mark had coached young little Tom, and when I was away on a nature break, to remove the flag, the actual goal of the game. So, at a certain point when I had ready to claim victory, there was no flag to claim. So the whole game had been an exercise in futility, and I just lost.
He chased me around the house.
Chased him around the house and wailed on his backside a little bit. Anyway, moving right along.
And that was, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Christmas. Most joyful moment together?
Oh, I would probably go back to, probably when I married Jen, and you presided over that, was a very joyful moment for me with you.
Yeah.
In many ways.
And I would share that. I think, another one would be a close second for me is, traveling on that same trip, on the TGV in southern France, the Côte d'Azur and everything else. And you're back in second class, and I'm in first class. And the sun is setting and everything.
Yeah, no. It was.
No, many other joyful moments, including a few cyclone victories. So, yeah.
Most incredulous moment for something Bishop or Tom has done?
And incredulous that you can't believe.
Yeah, that it's going on. I did not think about this one as much.
You want me to skip it?
Yeah, let's skip that one.
Biggest football win?
Iowa State.
Iowa State football win?
Yeah.
Which one?
I would say November 28th, 2011, when we beat Oklahoma State when they were
I think that's one many would point to. I'm older, so 1977, Earl Bruce's Cyclones beat Nebraska soundly when Nebraska was a national powerhouse. Mm-hmm. Luther Blue, 95-yard kickoff return at what was then Cyclone Stadium.
Yeah.
Hardest thing about being a Cyclone?
You die 1,000 Deaths. I think Bill has said that on the radio here before or not, but just when you think you're about ready to get to the mountaintop, it kind of sticks with you. You miss a field goal or something like that.
Yeah, Tom Gedgen missing the extra point or whatever. Yeah. So but we can see the mountaintop, and life is good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're only at 10 seconds left.
I think we better wrap it up.
Sorry. Ding, ding, ding. All right.
Yeah. All right. To be
All
continued a couple of years from now.
Exactly.
So, all right. Thank you so much to our guest, Tom, and all of our listeners on Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen.
You can hear Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen every week on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.